wonderful comments. So we would like to once again encourage you to do that, of course, and be part of the show and make it memorable, because the more we have these discussions, you know what I mean, that great conversation points, it just makes everything just a lot better, the understanding going forward, all of that.
That is so
brilliant.
True. And you know what, today we're really speaking about something that's been extremely dear to our heart, and something we've been mentioning on our show as well, you know, regarding girls with their menstruation. And I mean, I'm quite excited about the show because of the fact that this is something that people don't like talking about. It's discussions that doesn't necessarily happen. And I feel it needs to happen. It needs to be discussed at the end of the day. Because the realization is that girls are born necessarily, they don't have a choice at a certain age, and they have menstruation. So it's something that needs to be tackled because it does have an impact on our society.
Yeah. You know what, you say so many things, because firstly it is a conversation that a lot of people would just shy away from.
Yeah.
And I think that is the first thing. And the second thing is, once you have that conversation, there's bigger understanding and sort of making things easier and light.
True.
But now, having said that, because it is a topic to have a conversation about, having said all of that, this is why this show is important, and this is why your comments and questions are much encouraged here. So at Nickay Production, details at the bottom of your screen there. You can get in touch with us on YouTube and on Facebook. So exactly to what you have said now. Now imagine, we all know when it comes to sanitary, to feminine products, the cost that is involved in it. Now imagine the pandemic that has just happened, and we all know it's costly. Then also imagine when we are limited with resources, and a lot of us, in a great part of our society, find ourselves in struggling times, and, you know, let's call it what it is, but poverty as well, and then absolute poverty.
It's definitely.
So it is a very, very challenging time.
It is, Dougal. And I think this is exactly why I'm quite excited about our guests today, because you know what? This is what girls are facing every single day. And some people actually just take it for granted. And there is girls that are struggling, and people financially at this point struggling. And the girls need sanitary pads. They need the sanitary towels. And that's why I'm excited about our guests.
Certainly it is. And this is a wonderful opportunity and initiative just for all of us to get behind.
Oh, most definitely.
You know, absolutely wonderful. So ladies and gentlemen, all the viewers on Mahala Monday, the world, get ready, because she is, and I've spoken to her for 3 minutes. I've got to be honest, I've spoken to her for 3 minutes. Shérie de Wet, she is the CEO and founder of Palesa Pads. I'm simply going to describe her as a dynamo, because I love everything about this woman. I saw her in 3 minutes. Shérie de Wet, thank you so much for joining us here on Mahala Monday. How are you doing? Thank you so much for your time. How's it going?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm a little bit shy now. You weren't supposed to say all those nice things. Thank you so much. I'm good. I just got back from Cape Town. It was a long drive. Drove down with the team. Was there last week for a whole week to support over 2,000 girls. So I'm sad to have left Cape Town, but glad to be back in GP, you know.
Yeah.
So there we are.
Listen, let's start off there. I mean, what is Palesa Pads? When did this all start? What is the driving force? Just give somebody who's got no idea just a brief overview of what it is that you do.
Absolutely. So Palesa Pad is a manufacturer of reusable, washable sanitary pads. So they're made of fabric. They can be washed and used each month for up to 5 years, as opposed to buying disposable pads, which you use for a few hours, throw away, and they sit in the environment. We're a social enterprise, and for those who are unfamiliar with social enterprises, we do operate as a business. So we do watch our costs, and we do try and make a profit to make sure we don't run into financial trouble. But everything we do is with social responsibility in mind. From the suppliers that we source from, the people that we employ, the skills that we create, the environment in which we work, the way our packaging is. We aim to be socially responsible and conscious in every step of the way, making sure that, you know, we call it conscious capitalism, where everybody shares in that, and creating jobs. So that is really Palesa Pads. And then we also have our sister organization, which is the Palesa Pads Foundation. And the Palesa Pads Foundation particularly focuses on keeping girls in school, as you've just mentioned. You know, many girls miss 3 to 5 days of school each month because they don't have access to sanitary pads. I only discovered this 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago to be precise. I read an article about it and I was shocked. I just thought, what do you do if you don't have pads? The thought of not having pads has never occurred to me. And as I discovered this, it's one of those things, once you know it, you can't unknow it. And I started researching what girls were using when they didn't have pads. Oh, it was shocking. Newspaper, toilet paper, socks, rags,
Wow.
T-shirts, sponges from foam mattresses. They pull off pieces of foam mattresses. And in the rural areas, it's even worse. It's chicken feathers, it's grass, it's sand, it's cow dung, it's leaves. It's the most horrendous things, and these girls are putting themselves at risk because of this. And so not only are they missing out on an education, and some of them are really vulnerable at home.
Yeah.
So, they're missing out on that. I mean, I can go into that for another 20 minutes easily about the vulnerability of girls at home. And they're putting themselves under these terrible circumstances. So I decided to put my career on hold and get stuck into this and come up with a really sustainable, good quality, affordable solution, and everything that goes along with it, and to change people's mindsets around cloth pads, around periods.
Yes.
And here we are, 4 years later with Palesa Pads.
Sherry,
wow,
there's so much
Sherry.
you said there.
Jeez.
I just let me first jump in because I want to talk about changing the mindset, because I believe that is a big thing. But also, so as you indicate, so stats show up to from 3 to 5 days a month, because that is hard if you miss that much school, because at any given point you're always going to be at a disadvantage.
Automatically.
And that is hard. How difficult has it been bridging this conversation? Rhoda said this on the top of the program, that a lot of people shy away from having this conversation, and I'm in wholehearted agreement here. How difficult was it to have this conversation and openly have this conversation? Because you said the most interesting thing: once you've learned these kind of stats, you can't unlearn it, because once you know it, you know it.
Exactly. Look, it was difficult in the beginning because I was also still learning, and I was figuring out talking to people. But as the years have gone on, it has become easier. But one thing that I have learned is that I just say it, whether you want to hear it or not. I'm not going to worry about what everybody thinks. I've had family members who are concerned that I'm going to talk about periods at lunch. I'm like, I am going to talk about periods at lunch because it's important.
It's important.
So I've got this theory, and to me it relates to all sorts of inequality. Sometimes when the world is so far left, you have to pull so far right just to get things back on track. And that applies to racial equality, gender equality, and ending period poverty. So perhaps I'm a little extreme in talking about periods at every opportunity I get, but hopefully that will bring us to some part of being normal again, where we can talk about it as something natural. Really, I think people misunderstand periods. I think they think it's dirty. They think it's shameful, and actually, in all honesty, periods are the start of all life.
Precisely.
Truly, none of us can afford to ignore periods and pretend it doesn't matter to us. Not one of us would exist on this planet if our mom didn't have a period first. She couldn't have fallen pregnant with us if she didn't have a period first. So every person, male, female, across races, you owe your life to a period, and I think we need to start the conversation there.
Definitely.
That nobody can say it doesn't matter to them or they don't want to talk about it.
Exactly. And I feel I feel this, Sherry. I'm loving you basically standing for everything that I really believe in. And you know what? I've been telling everybody, Dougal knows, we need to discuss this with our boys as well, because there's a lot of times there's conversations and the guys tease you, oh, is it that time of the month again? Oh, is it this, is it that? And it's a part of our lives and something the guys themselves also need to know about, and understand it. And I've been to one of your shows basically in Cape Town last week, and I learned myself quite a bit just being there. And this is information I feel that needs to be put out there. And what you're doing is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Because women my age, I learned a few things at your show. And this need to be taught at a young age already, where you're at right now, at the perfect place.
Thank you so much. And I agree with you. I've actually had the privilege of doing this presentation to boys as well. And I'm so impressed with the questions that they ask, and some of the sponsors choose boys, some prefer not. So I have to go with what they've decided. But those who have, it's been wonderful. And one of the boys, actually Valentine's Day last year, before lockdown, we had a huge presentation with hundreds and hundreds of kids. Wow. And I was explaining about how, forgive me, I'm going to go into a bit of detail here, but I hope you'll forgive me, that the vaginal muscle is designed to stretch and contract. It's not the same as your urethra or your anus, so you can't hold in that blood. If it comes out, it comes out. You don't have a choice in the matter. It's not like you can run to the bathroom. And I explained this to the boys. I said, so if a girl has messed on herself, there was nothing she could do about it. Nothing. There was no way she could hold it in or get to the toilet quickly enough. So please don't laugh at her. It really was an accident. Try and help her and cover it up. And one of the boys came to me afterwards. I had a lot of messages from the boys going, yes, that was awesome. I learned so much. Thank you. And some of them were brave enough to come to me in person and they said, thank you so much for that. I didn't understand. And I promise you, I'll never ever laugh at a girl who messes on herself again. You know, so those are, maybe it's not all the boys who change their mind, but we only need one, you know, and he can talk to his friends and so we go on. So I think it's just a conversation that needs to be had. You're absolutely right.
I love it.
Do you know what? We big believers in having the conversation and even having the, I sometimes call it the naughty conversation, the elephant in the room conversations, because it's once you have the conversation, a moment gets created. It leads to some sort of understanding. We don't always have to agree with everybody, but having the conversation is the biggest starting point. And it is like that because a lot of us assume things when we don't know. But you gotta know. But we wanna ask you about the actual product. So we got Nonyana, thank you so much for saying absolutely true. And and this is what it's about. And she's saying obviously true just to everything. Because it is so important just having the conversation. But Shérie, you had the conversation. Let me ask you, so now you're on this thing because this thing gets triggered in you, saying like you said, you discovered this almost 5 years ago. You found out this kind of information and you went like, what? And women were using different things to what society might be used to. You on this venture, you're like, I want to get something that keeps the young ladies in school firstly, makes life just comfortable. What are we looking at cost? And I'm asking here as an ignorant male species, what do sanitary products cost generally, the ones we buy?
Okay, so it depends very much on the brand. Sometimes there have been some campaigns which you would have seen in the newspaper with pads as cheap as R5. And that's an extremely low price. But I think what people don't realize is that there's only 8 pads in there. So you need at least 2 packs anyway, because you've got to change your pad every 6 hours at least. You know, so that's 4 pads a day. So pack of 8 pads you're done in 2 days. So that's a little bit misleading, number one. But some of the packets will go up to 20 or even 40 Rand for a pack. So you're looking at about, and I mean tampons are even more. I remember when I was still using tampons 5 years ago, they were, I think, 60 Rand at the time. I don't know what they cost now, but they're expensive. So it's a lot of money, you know, especially for a family with maybe 3 daughters and a mother, perhaps living on a social grant. You know, that's almost the entire grant money. It's a lot of money to be spent. And with the cloth pad, it's a different mindset in that it's an upfront investment, but then you don't spend money again for 5 years. So with us, we've got a couple of different options available. You can buy a pack of 3 pads for just 99 Rand. Or a pack of 6 for 199. But if you go with the option that we suggest, which includes the bucket, so it comes with a bucket, some washing powder, some soap, plus 6 pads, a lovely little drying clip to put them all on, and all of the whole kit, we sell it at 289 Rand. And if you divide that over 5 years, it works out to less than 5 Rand a month, actually. And that's not taking inflation into account.
So everything we see there on the picture, we see soap there, we see the pads, the bucket, all of that is in the bucket.
Plus another 2 pads, there's 2 pads missing from that picture. There's supposed to be 6 pads. So 6 pads and then the drying clip as well. Definitely, and all of that is included in the bucket. Look, in the 5 years, you will have to replace the washing powder and the soap and the vinegar. But those are things people normally have anyway because people are washing their clothes, their underwear. So they've got those kinds of things in any case. But the pads will last you. I mean, I've had, if you'd like, I can show you a pad that's 4 years old.
4 years?
You got one. And this is up to 5 years that you can reuse it for.
4 years. This one's 4 years. This one is 4 years old. It's so faded actually, and it's still got the one clip. This was long ago. In fact, this was we are version 16 now. This was version 10 that we never actually released to the public, but it's one of my favorites regardless. But that pad, I don't know if you can see, there's no
Yes,
stains
yes.
on it, and it's been used every month for
Wow.
4 years already.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
Wow.
The fabric at the back faded, so we changed the fabric after this. So my other ones don't do that. But yeah, that's what it looks like after being used every single month. It hasn't lost shape, hasn't been
Wow.
stained. It's still soft. It's lovely, and it's extremely easy to wash. That's the biggest thing about Palesa pads actually, is the ease of washing. There are many different brands on the market, and some of them have chosen cotton because it makes sense. You know, we all have cotton gussets in our panties, so it makes sense. But you know, people forget how difficult it is to get blood off of panties.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy. It takes bleach and a whole lot of other things which you don't want to actually use on products that are going to be so close to your body.
Oh, yeah.
So we actually went about, can I maybe show you what's
Yes,
inside?
please
the
go
bag, if
ahead.
you don't
Go
mind?
for it.
So the fabric that we used, I'm going to show you, this is the underside. You might recognize it from the underside. Oopsie, can you see that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's a sports fabric, right? So it is
Yeah.
100% polyester, but it's breathable. It's what they use for soccer shirts and rugby shirts and
Yes,
things like
yes.
that. And what's amazing about it is because it's polyester, it does not stain at all.
Wow.
At all. Every single mark comes off with ease, and it dries very quickly, whereas
Wow.
cotton takes a long time to dry.
Yeah.
And you can dry it even just with wind. You don't have to have sun. With cotton, you've got to have full sun. So that's the top layer of our pads, and the wings as well. So the wings are also absorbent because, you know, we all spill over sometimes. So at least your wings will catch you. And then inside, we've got microfiber toweling, similar to what you've got in your kitchen cloths, very absorbent.
Wow.
2 layers of that. And then it's all been stitched together with very, very good quality thread so that it actually will last a long, long time. It's been designed well, and we use good quality fabric and good quality thread to make sure that it really, really lasts. And then the most important part of it really is what people are always worried about is leaking.
Yeah.
So here at the back, we've got a waterproof fabric. You can actually see there's a shine to the fabric.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
This is a special plastic that's been bonded at extremely high heat onto the fabric to make sure that it doesn't leak, and that you can scratch it, you can do what you like, it won't leak. The only thing that can damage this is intense sun for hours on end, because it's similar to an iron-on print of a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, if you leave it in the sun, it'll stretch and contract, and then it's not so waterproof anymore. But other than that, it's as long as you minimize the time in the sun or just dry it out the sun, you'll have no problems. And then you've also got these plastic snaps, which are very strong. So instead of using glue like you have on disposables, you have these snaps. So you put it around your panty like that, and you would just snap it closed. And then there's a second snap in case you've got smaller panties and you want to make it a bit tighter.
Wow.
Like that.
Check it
And
out.
that's it.
Oh,
This is our nighttime pad. This is our very long pad. We do have a variety of sizes actually. So you can see here we've got a panty liner,
Okay.
a light flow, a heavy flow, a nighttime, and even a maternity pad.
Wow.
We don't give the
Maternity.
maternity pad to the girls, although we probably should in reality, but the society's not there yet. But here we do have maternity pads, which ladies can buy for themselves as well. So, yeah, and so once you've worn the pad, you can wear it for up to 12 hours. You just take it off, you fold it all back together, and you just snap it closed. And it's the whole pad is waterproof. So you don't actually have to worry about a wet bag or a plastic packet or anything like that. You can take it just like this, put in your pocket, put in your bag. It won't leak. It won't smell. There's no chemicals in the pads to cause any smell. So it just won't leak at all. And when you get home, you wash it. Piece of cake, you just soak it upside down, some cold soapy water. Just about everything comes out really. And then the last little bit you get out with your soap, give it a rinse, put your vinegar in, and voila. And then to dry it, we've got this. This is so great, because this was what I discovered in my research, is that people didn't have a proper place to dry their pads. Especially those that are cotton that stain. They're embarrassed to dry them in places, so they hide them in their cupboards and underneath other things, and then it doesn't get cleaned properly. So ours, first of all, don't stain, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about. But second of all, you've got this drying clip, which you can clip onto a tree branch if you needed to. And it just, you can, I hang it up in my bathroom, but you can hang it up on your burglar bars in your bathroom or your bedroom or anything like that. And you just clip your pads on like that. They dry out the air nicely, and and then they dry in a couple of hours again, and you can use them again.
How cool is that?
Awesome stuff. I like that. And I like the fact that those clips are like sort of, what's the word, interconnected, interchangeable, whatever. Like you click on each other. I like that. I like
One
that.
hanger.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
Yeah, and all you need is a
Wow.
hanger. Exactly.
Sherry, all I can say is I'm in awe.
Most
I mean,
definitely.
I'm like, wow, that is, and I mean, 5 years ago, not even 5 years ago, this all started 5 years ago. So what has been the uptake? How many girls have received this product? How many, do you know those numbers?
Yeah, I do. I do. I've got a whole spreadsheet. I'm an accountant by trade, so I'm very detailed. But it's nearly 100,000 girls so far,
Wow.
and 44,000 of those girls were actually helped during level 4 and level 5 lockdown.
What?
We didn't advertise it on our Facebook page because obviously it was
Wow.
lockdown. But in reality, we supported 44,000 girls in South Africa in the most difficult time
Wow.
of the country's history, I
Those are
think, pretty
obscene
much.
numbers. You should be
Thank
like
you.
a knight, isn't it? They're like a, like a title of sorts, sword, and on the
So,
thing.
Shérie de
And
Wet.
and I mean, so you go around to schools and then and you hand these out.
We do. So I've got a lovely little team of two gorgeous young ladies that really relate very well to the girls, and we've got a formal program that we have put together to make sure that each school is the same and that the experience is the same. And we've got all our own sound equipment and everything, and we travel in my car from place to place all around the country, and we go and do these presentations. And the presentation is a total of an hour from introductions to closing. It's a total of an hour, and it includes speeches by the sponsors, speeches by any partner organizations who we're working with, a menstrual health talk, a demonstration on how to use the pads, a little bit of singing and dancing, which is really nice because
Yeah.
we're not just about pads. We're all about teaching girls not to even listen to negativity. Like just shake it off. When somebody comes, the haters are gonna hate. Just ignore them. Because that's the best we can teach them in 5 minutes. You don't have that much time to give them all the life lessons, but shaking it off is a good way to start. And then we take photographs and all of that, and we go there and we just make it as fun as possible. And I always laugh when I get to the schools because you see the girls as we're pulling up our banners and it says reusable pads, washable pads, their faces are like, oh no. I'm not watching my blood. You can forget it.
Yeah.
And I say to them, are you hesitant, aren't you? You're skeptical, aren't you? Yeah, I'm not doing that. And by the end of the show, they are delighted. They're taking photos with us and where can we get pads and my mom needs these. And so, it's just a change of mindset. And that's why these events are so important. And we encourage sponsors who are looking to sponsor, if you can, get the required volume to get the Palesa Pads team out there for free, do it because it really helps. The girls are so well trained in helping everybody overcome those concerns that they have, and valid concerns. I know myself, the first time I tried it, I was concerned. So we know how they feel. But we also know that you've got to take the first step. You'll never look back.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, listen, there's so much to talk about because
we need another show.
I mean, another 3 or 4. We'll have to do a series because there we see some of those banners that we see up there. Of course, those are some of the sponsors that get involved and help you out as well.
Definitely. You know what? So our Cape Town trip was actually sponsored by two specific companies. One was Sun Grand West, who sponsored 1,175 girls.
Wow.
We visited 3 schools. It was hectic, 4 events, 3 days, but it was amazing. The girls were fantastic. And then the other 2 days were sponsored by Sports Scene. So Sports Scene had run a competition or a campaign in August with one of their clothing ranges, and 100% of proceeds went to Palesa Pads. So everybody who bought the Posse T-shirt from 14 in August has contributed to keeping a girl child in school, which is amazing.
It certainly is.
So we work with so many different sponsors, and we've had amazing support from banks, from the mines, from small NGOs, large NGOs, churches. We've really had amazing support. And I've done the numbers. None of us can do this alone. Honestly speaking, we need all of the corporates, everybody to get involved, to come forward with whatever funds they have and just get involved and sponsor some girls. And if we all do this, I believe we can finally end period poverty in South Africa once and for all.
There's so much, Sherry, that we got to talk about. We got a couple of comments that we
yeah.
also want to go through, and then we will wrap up with you. So Rhoda's got a couple of comments there for us.
That's right. So our Facebook, Doreen de Klerk, welcome Doreen. And she says, I completely agree that boys should be better educated about it. That's so true. And then Cindy Kruger as well. Having 2 girls, I would love for boys to be educated as well. Thus taking away taking away the shame that can come with menstruation. That is so true. So educating boys comes through very strong. Then Hubert, hello Hubert, Palesa. Dignity is an essential to human life as water, food, oxygen, and sanitary products. So true, so true. And then Llewellyn Louise Nickay is watching. Hi there, Llewellyn. And then Doreen de Klerk says, yes, with exclamation marks, yes. And then Doreen de Klerk again, this is amazing. Love the practicality. Thank you for the wonderful work you do. Yeah. And Desiree Davids is watching as well. Hi Desiree, welcome. Yeah, so quite a bit of comments and people watching.
Know what? And one of the biggest things here is to have that conversation. I mean, you mentioned it, Sherry, like, girls will pull their faces, they might see reusable, all of that. I mean, I can understand that. That's not wrong. That's natural. That is normal. But as soon as we really talk about it, and as soon as we all embrace it and understand it, at least make a little bit of effort, what's the problem then?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Then it's nothing, and then it's exactly to what you are saying. So in terms of your product, and I wanna, because let me give your product a test. So obviously we can immediately assume with the regular ones that you purchase, the disposable ones, I would call them, with those ones, I mean, there's a bit of an environmental impact. When you mention all the materials and everything that is in your thing, and even let me make it hard for you, packaging as well. This seems like something that is very environmentally sound, but the question, Shérie de Wet, is it?
Absolutely. So each one of these pads actually replaces 200 disposable pads.
Wow.
Right? I can give you the numbers if we've got time, but I don't think we do, but you can check me on it. Each one of these replaces 200 disposable pads, which means that each one of those buckets replaces 1,200 disposable pads.
Wow.
So you can imagine then, let's just take Sungrand West's donation for this week, if we can do a little bit of maths. So we can say 1,200 pads per girl that we saved, multiplied by 1,175 buckets that they donated. This week, just Sungrand West alone kept 1.4 million disposable pads out of the environment. 1410.
Well, firstly, thank you for your answer. And secondly, we've learned a lesson. Don't ask the CEO a very tough question and then they give you facts like that. So
come with the numbers.
Thank you for that.
Wow.
But we wouldn't have been able to do it if we didn't ask the question.
Oh yeah, no, that's why you can always ask me. I'm such a numbers person. Yeah. So let me tell you about the packaging. So we've actually, thanks to Ackermans, our pads are now available to the consumers everywhere. Our pads are available on our website, but not everybody's comfortable shopping online. People are always concerned about the delivery fee, which is understandable. We're in Joburg, and if you're in the middle of nowhere, it's going to cost us something to get the pads to you. But Ackermans has come along and put our pads in store. Wow. So this is what they look like in store. They're sold individually because we don't know what everybody's flow is. So you can choose exactly what actually suits you. And the packaging, so what we've done is we've been very, very conscious of the packaging. The cheapest option, of course, was to get see-through cellophane packets, but there's no ways I was going to ship thousands of pieces of single-use plastic out of my factory, so that was a no-go. So we actually have this beautiful little reusable bag which you can put your pad in. If you're a little bit worried about it, you don't really have to, because the pad is waterproof, and this bag isn't waterproof, but it's nice, it's pretty, and it's more discreet like this. Also, the tags that we use are made with recycled cardboard, and it is recyclable, it's biodegradable. There's no laminate on it, it's all UV varnish, which is totally biodegradable. And my secret little solution was, instead of plastic tips, little stitching. Wow. So all of that, nothing, and even the pamphlet inside is all biodegradable. So nothing from anything in our packaging could harm the environment, which we're so pleased about.
Excellent.
Can we just assume I never asked the question? So there it is. You gotta go check out. You go to their website. You can email them, of course, info@palesapads.com. As easy as that. And of course, just visit their website, which is absolutely brilliant. And I think we should just purchase this because this could be a good festive gift as well.
Most definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh my word.
You could sort out quite a bit. So www.palesapads.com. That is where you go. Shérie de Wet. All we can say is we bow in awe. Thank you for what you've been doing. It is people like you that make everything great. And once again, this is just another story of an amazing and a great South African doing great things and contributing to society in a way that is unimaginable. And it is weird, and I don't believe I'm going to say this, but that would have taken us to 2015, 2016, when this idea formulated in your head. We're in 2021. Basically, 2021 is done. And it is, as mankind, it has taken us a while to get here, but it is important to get here. And thank you for getting us there. We wish you all the success with your product. I hope everybody goes to Ackermans and, of course, contact you to get it. Thank you so much for your time, Shérie.
Thank you, Shérie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you so much for spreading the word. I really believe that together we can do this. And what you're doing today makes such a big difference. Thank you. And thank you to everybody who's watching and commenting. And so exciting.
We want to wish you everything of the best. You go for it. You're doing very well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I just want a quick one here.
Before you go, Shérie.
Yeah. I've just got some Desiree Davids again. Wonderful work. Stay blessed. Exactly that. And then Doreen de Klerk again. Doreen, I like you. This is incredible. Go Ackermans. Being environment friendly is so important. I will be looking out for it. Where can I buy it in store in Johannesburg? Ackermans. And then, Shérie, just to be clear as well, people could obviously then just go to your website and there will be purchase details there as well.
Yes. So there you can buy the buckets. You can buy a set of 3, a box of 6, depending on what suits you. We also sell bulk bags if you want to donate to your community and you don't want all the fuss with the buckets. You can just buy no fuss, no frills, no fuss, just a bag of pads. You know, we try and cater for everybody. So,
beautiful.
But Ackermans or our website, you can find it definitely.
Excellent.
Definitely support him. Listen, Shérie, thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much for being on the show today. We wish you everything of the best. Nothing of just amazing success. And your amazing work that you do, may the support just grow and grow and grow. And please keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for helping all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Have a lovely Monday.
Same to you. Shérie de Wet, everybody. She is the CEO of Palesa Pads. She said like 4 years they've been going.
4 years.
Let's make it closer to 5 years.
Yeah,
she's had this thought in her head.
Oh, yeah.
Found out the things. And let's be honest, it brings me back to the top of the show. She said it. 3 to 5 days a month. You can't afford what you do. You stay there and you don't go to school. Yeah. Not just school, work.
And I think what upset me quite a bit, I mean, I was nearly in tears at the beginning, was the fact of what the girls was using, that you're not even aware of what, people are using out there. I wasn't aware of some of the products she was mentioning at the beginning of the show. I mean, cow dung, seriously.
But, Rhoda, now let me ask you this.
Sorry, Dougal, that part is so sensitive, you need to be careful because you can get infections, you can get bladder infections, So there's a lot involved.
And let me ask you this. Up until she said that, what else would somebody use? I never even thought of that.
I didn't even think of that. Sponges.
But the thought of that I never thought of it.
Yeah. Scary.
Shows that I need to be thinking about it.
You need to. It's a discussion that needs to happen, Dougal. And I'm sorry to say this now, guys, and I'm probably going to get in trouble about this as well. For me, at the end of the day, government is supporting condoms. I mean, geez, this isn't a choice you've got to have sex, and at the end of the day, you as a girl get born to get menstruation. This is not your choice. But yet government is not supporting this. They need to step up and support Palesa Pads because this is something I need to go out to everybody.
It is.
I'm sorry.
And this is the thing. That conversation needs to happen, Rhoda. So this is it. And this is our plea now. We've been talking about this with For Humanity projects because we have said this is what we want to do. So this is our plea. There's the product. We brought you the product. You've seen an absolutely outstanding, inspirational South African doing amazing, great things. In fact, there's not a word in the vocabulary that can describe this woman. I said at the beginning, dynamo. I mean, I knew her for 3 minutes and I was like this. I could barely, The thing is, there it is. There's the product. So you got to contact them. You got to get the product. And and do it right now. We've heard of wonderful organizations doing amazing things. There are over 1 million that won't go into the environment, those are the disposable ones, because of one company making a contribution. But there's not one company in this land. They've got international footprint. She told us off air that they've been doing it all the southern, sub-Saharan countries, they basically everywhere. So all our neighboring countries, they're doing it there. We all know this, and I think people should just get together. You buy a bucket between you and a couple of chommies, between you and your families, your church group, your club, your motorcycle club, or whatever, and we do this. This is what we got to do. It's done. This is not even a discussion. And shame on you if you don't do it. And you are rightly so saying this about government. Shame on you too, government.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Come on, guys. Corporates out there, challenge. Your son could do it. Look at how many kids at the end of the day, how many girls they've supported. You know what I'm saying? You can do this as well. Doesn't have to be on that big scale, but you know what? Let's go and do something different, people. We need to keep our girls in school.
That's the important thing. And this is the thing. So, you know what to do. You go to www.palesapads.com. That is where you go. You will find out all about these wonderful products, of course. And the one big thing is you got to do is you got to like and share this show. And we all know somebody that we will know will definitely benefit from the latest broadcast. So we'll definitely make sure this happens to find itself in their inbox. It is that simple. Details, of course, that is the campaign we're all supporting. Keep a girl child in school. And for more details, just simply go to palesapads.com. So, Rhoda, that wraps up the show. Thank you very much to our wonderful guest that came on here. Thank you so much for your questions and comments. In a short little moment, we will be back because, as you know, we had a wonderful show as well the week before when we promised you a live lucky draw. And that is all happening in how much time? 5 minutes? 3 minutes?
Say 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes. We will be drawing that Instax prize. That is all coming up next. But thank you for watching. And thank you once again to Shérie de Wet, CEO of Palesa Pads, who joined us here on Mahala Monday. Until a few moments from now, thanks for watching.
See you. Bye.